All right, Shalom, Yasharala, welcome. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High and Mashiach Yahushai, Bahasham, Mashiach Yahushai. I was contemplating on what I should go in tonight, and the Spirit moved me to go into brothers and sisters that's discouraged. You know, some things that be going on in your life, and you can be discouraged about certain things. And we got to look at what the Scripture says concerning that, and so like the reason why it begins, and a solution within yourself, according to the Scriptures, of course, that the Most High has given us to be able to rectify means of being discouraged. If some of you out there are discouraged, you know, or you have things weighing you down, you don't know what to do and so forth, and you don't have anything to depend on except for possibly praying to the Most High, which is always good, you know, in the name of the Lord and Savior. But the Scriptures will enlighten you because you are clean through the Word. You know, a lot of times, you know, look at where it stems from and why you get into that type of spirit to be able to weigh you down and allow it to weigh you down. When the Most High said, whatever you give us, take cheerfully. But that's hard. That takes a lot of I'll say practice, you know, when you actually take it and you really see it and you don't really let it affect you as it would affect the people of the world. We have to be light shining in darkness. And a lot of things that we deal with when you are depressed and you are dealing with being discouraged is being in darkness on the other side, you know, not in the light but in the darkness. So that's why it's very important that we look at these scriptures and we rehearse them. You know, we're rehearsing right now. We're rehearsing the righteous acts until the Mashiach Shai come back and show us and make everything whole. You know, we know in part, we prophesy in part. But when he come back, he will make everything right. And right now, he's bringing the Spirit, you know, the Spirit of Mashiach Yahushua is the Spirit of the Most High, to enlighten us in these last days. The Most High told us he's going to speak to us in these last days by his Son. So, giving all praise and glory to the Most High, let's look at as always, Colossians 3 and 17. We're going to go into this, and like I say, it should be very enlightening, and hopefully it'll be edifying for all the hearers. Colossians 3 and 17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem, Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father, Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in the name of the Lord and Savior, Bahasham, Mashiach Yahushai. That's how we give thanks to the Most High by him. Because he said, no man cometh to the Father but by him. In St. John 14 and 6. And St. John 14, 13 said, you ask anything in my name, I will do it, that the Father could be glorified in the Son. You ask anything, I would do it. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Follow what he said. His rules and regulations. Rules and regulations and everything. So let's look at go to the law, go to Deuteronomy, because a lot of the discouragement is dealing with your moral character. Do you follow what he say do, or you don't? You know, you follow what he say do, and you practice it, you rehearse it, and you see it works. If not, then you're on your own. Or you have somebody on the left side to depend on, who's in darkness to keep you ignorant and not knowing, and that's Satan, the devil. So look at Deuteronomy 32, and we're going to start at verse 28. It says, and it's still with your moral character. It says, for they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. He said, they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. So when you look at what he's saying here, it's a nation void of counsel, meaning, and the counsel has to come from the scriptures, not just what someone like to say, and also from the experience that you have in the world, that you see a lot of things happen over and over again, or you experience in that aspect. So sometimes you have to deal with the worldly people with a worldly type of solution that they can relate to. But if you haven't been there, you don't know anything about that. Just like you go to AA a meeting and you say, look, I want to come up here and speak to y'all, but I never drank at all. They want to hear what you have to say. Period. You know? So that's why the Most High is calling those that's been in the world, he calling those that are holier than all you can think of all their life. He calling those that been in the world to come and grab those things that call themselves wise in this world. It's foolishness with the Most High. So this is what he's saying. But he said they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Say, oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. Most I say, you would consider being wise according to his word, according to what his rules and regulations states, his laws, statutes, commandments, so that you would be prepared for the latter end, would be righteously in the eyes of the Most High, and not him dealing with his wrath and anger and destruction upon you. That's what he said. Oh, that they would be wise, that they understood this. That's why Proverbs 4 and 7 said they understood this. Very important, because we can go about, our own way of thinking that we're in the spirit and be out of the spirit. And them spirits come in and they take over. And you wonder why. You get out of the spirit from this, oh yeah, they waiting on you. Told you that? He told you that, hey. Complete number of spirits waiting on you. If you be void of the understanding of what it is that you're getting. Proverbs 7 and 4. 4 and 7, Salaki. Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom, which is a proper application of knowledge, is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all that getting, get understanding. So I say, he wished that you would be wise to realize that you have to follow his curriculum. If you don't want that latter end to be destruction. Because it's coming. That's what's coming on this earth. Blessing and destruction. Blessing for those that's going to say, come on, your name is written in the book of life. And destruction to those that have done whatever they want to do, how they want to do it. And destruction is coming. And you don't want to be there. Hopefully you don't. I don't know nobody that would want to be there. Unless they have some kind of mental problem. Hopefully that's not you. Go to Proverbs 4 and 19. That's why we're looking at being discouraged, being low in your spirit, not being able to lift yourself up. Take good notes. This can help you. Proverbs 4:19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. See, the way of the wicked is as darkness, ignorant. They're not knowing. So if you don't know, then you part of the wicked, because either you know or you don't know. If you don't know, you do whatever you do and it's wicked, then you say it's righteous in your own mind. That's why I say the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. So they don't know why they stumbling. See, they don't know why this is happening, that's happening, why I feel like this, why am I jacked up, why am I getting, in all these different crises. That's why I say, look what it says. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. They don't know why they're going through what they're going through. They don't know why they're stumbling. But see, at least a spiritual man to think, wow, man, I'm getting jacked for something that you've done that you know is wrong. You know it's wrong. Spiritual man to think in that aspect. And if you're real spiritual, you won't be having to deal with stumbling, because you won't fall into the realm of the wicked. You're doing what the Most High said. Look at Proverbs 28 and 5. And see, I want to suggest something to you too. Don't exclude yourself from any of this, because at any time you can fall right into this. That's why it's very good to go over the precepts and put yourself there. Do a self-examination. Proverbs 28:5. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Most High understand all things. See? Evil men not going to understand judgment. They not going to understand why the Most High jacking them. Everything come from the Most High. But evil men not going to consider it. Wicked men not going to consider the Most High. Or women, they're not going to consider the Most High is jacking you. That's why I say evil men understand not judgment. The judgment is what? Being punished for something that you do. That's wrong in the eyes of the Most High. But they that seek the Most High understand all things. See? You seek the Most High. How you going to seek the Most High without doing what he say do? Please tell me. How you seeking the Most High and you're not doing what you're supposed to do? You out of order. He done set up order and you out of order, but you seeking the Most High. It don't work like that. That's why I be so hard on these preachers, because of the fact of they're not teaching our people the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws. Where they celebrating all the pagan holidays and so forth. And that's not right. Tell them they can eat anything. You know, I see they go to Acts the 10th chapter, say, you know, clean and unclean, don't call nothing unclean that I've cleaned up. Don't even understand spiritually what that's talking about. It's talking about man. You read verse 28, it tell you man. Don't call no man unclean. But you know, that's another thing when you look at, you're not looking into these scriptures spiritually, and the Most High has not moved you to understand the mysteries of this Bible. And it's, you know, you can't just create things. That's what has been happening ever since 1620. You go back and look at the religious instructions to the Negroes in the United States of America. Straight up. This is what you're going to teach you. This is what you're going to teach the people until this day. Turn to your neighbor and say this. And that's how it started. Programming. That's why I say evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Most High understand all things. That's why it tells you. Go to 2 Corinthians. This 2 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. No, 1 Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 2nd chapter, the 15th verse. 1 Corinthians 2 and 15 and 16. Say, but he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. For who have known the mind of the Most High, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of a Mashiach, because we read over here 1 Corinthians 3:23, it says, and ye are Mashiachim. Ye are the anointed. We are the Messiahs. And Mashiach is the Most High's. See, if you're going to read and understand what this Bible is saying without trying to come up with your own understanding, leaning on your own understanding, to come out of ignorance. So we belong to Mashiach. Mashiach is the Most High's. Because he got to teach us 1,000 years of the Most High. His ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts. So how are we going to know him? Anyone out there? When you say my ways and thoughts are not your ways and thoughts. So somebody out there comprehending the mind of the Most High, that's what I said. For who have known the mind of the Most High? Some of you out there can say you know the mind of the Most High. That he may instruct him. You can tell him what to do. You give him instructions. But we have the mind of a Mashiach, his son. He said in Hebrews 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 that in these last days he's going to speak to us through his son. So it's very important that we, try as much as possible to remain in the light and not in darkness, and not be immorally wrong and not understanding the truth. Isaiah 5 and 13. Isaiah 5:13. I gotta bring it this way, then I bring it, with solutions. But you gotta see a lot of what's causing in the spirit of those that are, ignorant of this moral reality of how you should be. Isaiah 5:13. Therefore my people are gone into captivity. Why? Because they have no knowledge. You're gone into captivity because you have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. See? We gone into captivity because we have no knowledge. See, that's the, and it tells you, hold that right there, get Proverbs 1:7. So we have no knowledge, right? As a people. So Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. See, the fear, to be afraid, to be scared, when the Most High will jack you and you know he will get you. But you're taught that, no, God is love. You're not supposed to fear the Most High. You're supposed to be afraid of the Most High. He's love. That's because you don't know him. You don't know him. You're reading something and you without understanding. He is love. But he's not going to bring forth that happiness and joy and good feelings that you want to feel all the time. No. He said who he loveth, he chastens. He rebuke and chasten. So here we are. We're going to be dipped in the fiery furnace of affliction. Some of you ain't been dipped enough. He ain't dipped you in that fire. Remember, he's a consuming fire himself. So he tell you the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. I have to bring that across because there's so many people that really look at that they really don't, they're not afraid of the Most High. They ain't afraid of what he'll do to you. They ain't afraid of what he'll do. Listen, but fools despise wisdom. See, a fool despises wisdom, the proper application of knowledge and instruction. You can't tell them nothing. That's a fool. You can't tell them nothing. To help themselves. Listen what he says. Verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Bunch of simpletons. So how long, you simple ones? Call it simple. Will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning. So some people are going to be scorning for this. Because it's going to be cutting them. Because the word cuts to the marrow of the bone. But I didn't write it. Take it up with the Most High. He said, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. See? Fools hate knowledge. So a fool ain't going to fear the Most High. He's going to do whatever he want to do, and the Most High going to jack up. Then he wants somebody to feel sorry for him, but hey, you did it yourself. You did it upon yourself. So go back to Isaiah 5:13. Said, therefore my people are gone into captivity. Gone into captivity. Because they have no knowledge. Don't have any knowledge. Don't have no fear of the Most High. And their honorable men, the men that was honorable, are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure. Hear that? It's a condition called hell, y'all. Right here. It's enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure. Can't even measure the hell that we catching. It's so much. In their glory, in their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoices shall descend in it. Yeah, you laugh now, but you're going to cry later. That's what he's saying. He that rejoices shall descend in it, into it. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. That's what the Most High said. Power of hosts, power of armies. But the Most High of hosts, the power of hosts, power of armies, shall be exalted in judgment. Hear that? You're going to be exalted in judgment. That's why a lot of times certain things happen to you. You're like, oh man, you know, I won't do it no more, Most High. Or you call him God, whatever name you call him, you know. You feel it. If you spiritual. That's why I said, but the Most High of hosts shall be exalted in judgment. And the Most High that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. So you're going to be sanctified and you getting it right. What's righteousness? Keeping the laws of the Most High. Doing what's right in His eyes. Not in your own, but in His eyes. So that you don't have to be chastised. You know. So He's dealing with you as such. Daniel's 12 and 10. Daniel's 12 and 10. See, it says in Hebrews 10:31, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, the Most High. So see, if people don't fear the Most High, if you're not taught to be afraid of Him, to be scared of Him, then you do whatever you want to do. And then when He jack you, and you know, those that know these scriptures and these precepts, people want you to feel sorry for them, but then hey, you didn't want to follow directions, instructions. You fall right into that. That's why it's very important to listen, to learn it, to live it, and apply it in your life. Listen, many shall be purified and made white, made pure and clean in righteousness and tried. So you're going to be tried in that fiery furnace of affliction. And that fire is the word of the Most High. So you're going to have to go through it. Whether you like it or not, all of us had to go through it or going to go through it and continue to go through it. Many shall be purified and made white, made pure and righteous and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly. See, the wicked gonna still do wickedly. They wicked, when you gonna change? See, the wicked still gonna do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. See? The wicked not going to understand, but the wise going to understand. And the wise going to want more than what's been given. They're going to desire this. They're going to really go into what it takes for salvation. Power and authority on this earth. Otherwise, you're going to burn in the lake of fire. That's the choices we have. Life or death. The life is everlasting life. The death is be cast into the lake of fire. Don't get it twisted. Matthew 15:14. Matthew 15 and 14. See what the Mashiach Yahushua have to say about it. Matthew 15 and 14. Let them alone. Let's see. Let's start up from there. Let's read up for 10. Let's say, and He called the multitude and said unto them, verse 10, hear and understand. See, listen and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth, the fall of a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this the fall of a man. It ain't what goes into the mouth, because we know the dietary law from Leviticus 11 chapter. You see? So they tripping on things that they shouldn't even be tripping on. You're going to make them clear. Say, so He's saying not what goes in the mouth, the fall of a man, if you're eating clean food. But what comes out of the mouth, your big mouth, what you say out of your big mouth, that defileth a man. He'd let you know. Verse 12. Then came His disciples and said unto Him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended? They was cut. He cut the Pharisees. After they heard this saying, said the Pharisees was offended after they heard this saying. He says, but He answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up. So it don't matter if you've been called. That's why He said many are called, but few are chosen. Say, he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved. So He said, hey, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up. If the Most High have His hand in it, it's going to be rooted up. It's going to be moved out the way. It says, let them alone. So let them alone. Leave them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. That's why it's important that, I pray that our people will pay more attention to spiritual understandings, these mysteries that's here in this Bible. Because He said there be blind leaders of the blind. Blind leaders leading the blind people. If the leader can't see, then whatever he's teaching you, you're going to follow the same suit, not see too. That's why people saying we ain't under the law, we under mercy and grace. And we Gentiles, we grafted in. That particular sayings that our people say that's in the church is very, very, very hurtful when you look at we are the Israelites. This book is talking about us. The Most High said he the power of Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob, who was our forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. But we sitting up here following the same religious instructions to the Negroes in the United States of America until this day. It's amazing. The Willie Lynch letter. It's amazing. Said it might be foolproof, but it lasts forever. We can look at it happening right now. Stockholm Syndrome. You know what I'm talking about. Our people can't even come together. I mean, there was one time when it was segregated when we were together. We were a nation. You know, they say a village raises us child. Yeah, we were together because we had to be together. Because nobody else was going to help us. We had to help ourselves, and we were right there for each other. And it's going to come back to that, whether you like it or not. If you can't deal with it, you're going to be moved out the way. Wait, let's read it again. Verse 13, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. You're going to be moved out the way. But the Most High is planting those that, because look, you got to look at this. For real, for real. This is what the Most High had to say. Take it or leave it. This is what he had to say. Go to 2nd Ezra 9:22. 2nd Ezra 9:22. Let the multitude perish then. That's the multitude of people. He said, let them die. This is what it says. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. Hear that? Some people are born in vain. And let my grape be kept and my plant. For with great labor have I, that's the Most High, that I is the Most High, made it perfect. So, you have some for honor, you have some for dishonor. 2/3 of our people are not going to get it. They're not going to get it no matter how much you try and teach them. And as far as Esau and the other nations, as last I read it, Wisdom of Solomon 5:7, they said we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. We have gone through ways where there lay no way. Deserts where there lay no way. And as for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. That's when salvation is coming to the 12 tribes of Israel. So no matter how much you teach, that's the answer to everything you teaching and taking your time to deal with them and not Israel. Just what they're going to say. You can't make us say nothing different. You can't make us tell you when we going up in the chariots, our enemy's going to behold us. And it tell you what they're going to be saying. Everything is here. The past, the present, the future. Let's see what the Mashiach Yahushua had to say. Matthew 15:13. But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted out. Gonna be rooted out. Gonna be moved out the way. So he said, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. Let my plant be kept. For with great labor have I, the Most High, made it perfect. Listen. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. See? If the blind lead the blind, say both gonna fall into a ditch. So how you gonna stop it? You can't. That's why, as much as possible, the Most High, he called people to a Mashiach Yahushua, the real Mashiach Yahushua, not the fake one that they done put up representing Caesar Borgia, that so-called, white man that they set up in 1492. Leonardo da Vinci painted that picture. Caesar Borgia, Pope Alexander the Sixth, son of Rome's son. Come on. Our people still believe it to this day. When the people of the race Other pictures say, no, that's not true. Now, how come we gonna still believe it and wholeheartedly be ready to throw down behind showing them Revelations, the first chapter, the 13th to the 15th verse, that the Mashiach had hair of wool and his feet like a fine brass has been burned in the furnace. And they go off. Because they hate themselves. That's why. And I ask white people all the time, so-called white people, Esau, do you think that the white man gonna come from heaven, since y'all say he's God, and set righteousness on this earth? I haven't found a one that says yes until this day. But we'll say yes as a people. That's our program we are. Brain polluted. Ain't no brain wash, brain polluted. The Most High say he polluted us, gave us over to the Gentiles. And we learned their ways. It was a trap for us. So all the scriptures is there to prove it. And here we are today in this fix. Blind leaders leading the blind. Falling into a ditch. That's a trap. So that trap is that ditch that our people have fell into and still in it, can't get out of it, and love it. They love it. In their comfort zone, in the trap. Trapped in the comfort zone. Man, that's crazy. Look at Matthew 16. Start at verse 1. It says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. Tempting them. See? Same thing that we get. You're representing Baal Shama Mashiach Yahushua being out there. Same thing. These Pharisee type spirits come up tempting them. They required a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. You recognize the sky. It's going to be fair weather because the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. Or ye hypocrites, see, you call them hypocrites. Ye can discern the fade of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? So you can look at the sky. You want to see something from heaven, he told them, hey, look up at the sky. You know about the sky. You want to hear something from heaven? Yeah. Because heaven is, that's second heaven. Firmament, the ozone layer, the sky. He told them, you look at the sky, you can tell how the weather going to be. But you can't discern the times that we in. That we're in right there, the signs of the times. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. So you know what he was saying. Remember, Jonas was what? In the whale's mouth for 3 days. He was going to be in the earth for 3 days and rise again as he did and walk the earth for 40 days and ascended to the right hand side of the Most High. Where he's sitting there waiting for the Most High to say, come, Mashiach Yahushua, rise, Mashiach Yahushua, go and judge and make war and bring forth righteousness on this earth. But he said he's not coming as a man. So when you look at heavenly things, trying to draw something that's heavenly, you can't really draw Mashiach Yahushua in the heaven because he said he's not coming back as a man. So any man picture that you can see has nothing to do with Mashiach Yahushua as he's sitting on the right hand side of the Most High. He's coming in his angelic power, hanging out with Ma'aka, the angel of war, bring forth war and a righteous judgment according to the rules and regulations of the Most High, because he's going to do what the Most High say do. Matthew 23. And let's see. Look at what he was saying. He's saying, look at this in Matthew 23:8. See if you relate to this. He said, "But be ye not called rabbi." Aren't those they Jewish leaders that's called rabbis? Be ye not called rabbi, for one is your master, even Mashiach, and all ye are brethren. All of us are brethren. Say, don't be calling no one rabbi. Say, and call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. You know, that's the Most High. So we say our Father in the Our Father prayer. First thing we say is our Father which art in heaven. So he said, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. So isn't that contrary to the way the world is today? So he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. The ones that's exalted, everybody else is servant to them. The one that exalt themselves, they in this position, that position, everybody else is servant to them. They're not servants. That's why it's very important to look at what he's saying. You're going to be a servant to the people. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. So you got to look at your pride. Look at where you at as far as, like we dealing with discouraged. Why are you discouraged? Why are you feeling bad? Why are your morals, have you downtrodden in despair? It's because it could be. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. You're going to be brought down. You got a prideful attitude, you're going to be brought down. You think you all that? Oh, you're going to be brought down. Listen. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So, what exaltation you want? You exalt the exaltation of this world? This world set up to send you straight to hell with it. I looked up Edom in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. She, who was Edom, is the only neighbor of the Israelites who is not given any promise of mercy, which is not getting something you do deserve from the Most High. So they're going to get what they deserve from the Most High. That's what they know. I didn't write it. Read it for yourself. So, if you follow in the same suit, you're not going to get no mercy from the Most High either. He said, well, have mercy on Jacob, and we yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. But that's for those that's going to do what's right. Going to live it, learn it, live it, and apply it in their life every day. And this as an Israelite, bringing back the culture, bringing back the love that we have for our Heavenly Father, doing what He say do, being righteous, and stop sinning against His laws, statutes, commandments. But how you going to do what's right if you don't know what's right? If you know what's right, then you really going to be held accountable. More so than those that don't know. See, it's something. That's why we have to really look at ourselves and humble ourselves before the Most High comes. We send them spirits after you. And next thing you know, you jacked up. You wonder why. Listen to what he said. He was dealing with these Pharisees and scribes. This is what he said, verse 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, meaning they saying one thing and doing something contrary to what they say. For you pay tithes of mint, of almond, anise, and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law. The weightier matters of the law. For all you to say that we're not in the law, he tells you now. Weightier matters of what? Of the law. Whose laws were they? The Most High's laws. Judgment, mercy, and faith. Judgment, the proper judgment for someone that's doing wrong. Mercy, giving them mercy. not getting something you do deserve. They was giving it to him. They deserve this, like they did him. They really had no reason to put him to death, but they said, crucify him. Let his blood be on us and on our children. No mercy. And faith. They didn't believe in him. See, they claimed to believe in the Most High, but they didn't know about the Most High. Truly. It says, these ought ye have done, and not to leave the other undone. Ye blind guides, see? Blind leaders leading the blind. Our people already lost. That's why we lost 12 tribes of Israel. But you got blind leaders leading these blind people. They're already blind. You got a blind leader that's leading these blind people where? Into a ditch, he said, into a trap. That they can't get up. They can't climb up. All these years, 2018, you're still trying to climb up out of that ditch, out of that trap. You can't get out because you still following the blind leader. Listen, ye blind guides, see? What's a guide do? A guide leads you. Same thing, you're just using guides here. A leader guides you. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat, and swallow a camel. Woo. He cut them. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees. Woe means destruction. He said it once, he said it again. To who? The Israelites, leaders. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees. Y'all Mashiachim, but Mashiach Rashad is going in on them. Because they're the ones that was leading the blind people. Blind guys leading blind people. They're going to all fall into a ditch, he says. Woe unto you, destruction unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. For ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter. Your outside looking so marvelous in appearance, but within their spirits, they are full of extortion and excess. Never get enough, and always extorting the people. That's what he's telling them. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. You got to clean what's inside you. That's why I tell you in St. John 15:3, now you are clean through the word which I'm speaking to you. You got to be cleaned up through this word. But see, they was reading the word, telling the people, do this, do that, but then people looking at them, they wasn't doing it. That's why he call them hypocrites. You can't be going over this and you acting when the book is closed, or Spirit brought to me when the book is closed, then what's the word on you? How do you conduct yourself? Because you being recorded all the time. That's why the book's going to be open, going to say you did this, you did that, we did this, we did that. On this day, at this time, this second, this millisecond. I mean, it's all there, people. Nobody getting away with nothing. So you can't be like this. Look at Matthew 7:18. Matthew 7:18. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. So a good tree is not going to bring forth evil fruit. So you got to look at, we're going through all this darkness and ignorance and evil and wickedness, because you got to see this. So you understand and think. Put yourself there. We all have to put ourselves here to look at ourselves, examine ourselves, to see if we're in the light or in darkness. Listen. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. So a good tree not going to bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. See? So we come from our parents, their parents. So a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can an evil fruit bring forth good fruit. So just let you know that a lot of things that we're dealing with is in our actions, how we conduct ourselves, how we've been programmed to think. You see? But if you from a good stock, good tree, then you're gonna bring forth. You should be good. Good. You know what I mean? What I mean is you'll be acceptable in keeping the law, such commandments of the Most High. Nothing new under the sun. That's why I say he told us to require of the past. As you look back, you say, okay, well, there are good traits that are there that we would come back on this earth, probably subject to the prophet. You come back and you be who you supposed to be in the eyes of the Most High. He knew us from the womb, he says. But those that are not, then they're gonna come back and do what they're gonna do because, like he said, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. You hear that? Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. So if you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing and keeping the laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High, the statutes of the Most High, having the faith in the Mashiach Rashai, fearing the Most High, crying to the Most High for salvation to our nation, in prayer and so forth, then how you think you're going to make it? Just all the conditions of what we have to do is here to be morally right. So if you're morally off, then you're looking at all the things that darkness brings. You see? Ignorance brings about a certain condition that a lot of people don't realize because they're not really tuned into the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. You're Israelite, but that's not going to save you. Ain't no man going to save you. You can't save yourself. We can't save ourselves. Mashiach Yahushua coming to judge and make war. And if he come and he don't know you, then what you going to do? Speaking of that, look, jump down to verse 21. He says, not everyone that saith unto me, the Mashiach shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. See? And that's when the book is closed. Now you got to live it. You got to apply it in your life. You live it, you apply it in your life. That's the proper application of how to operate as an Israelite, as anyone can see that you're applying being an Israelite in your life every day. He tells us we have a certain look we have, nobody else have. Fringes, wearing fringes, a river of the blue. I'll do that sometime, I'll pick up on it whenever I can, but that's a law. So if you don't, you're breaking the laws. If you know, you're breaking the laws. But see, our people don't think of it. They don't, like I say, they don't fear the Most High. They have no fear of the Most High. They ain't afraid of the Most High. He ain't going to deal with me, but he's going to deal with you. More so than those that don't know. He said you're going to be beat with more stripes. Do you understand that? You better. This is serious. See, not everyone that said unto me, Mashiach, or whatever name you use for him, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that do the will of my Father which is in heaven. Say, many will say unto me in that day, Mashiach, have we not prophesied in thy name about Shem Mashiach Yahushua, about Shem Yahushua, about Shem Yeshua, Yeshua, whatever name you use, Jesus Christ? And in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then when I profess unto them, I never knew you. That's serious. Because that let you know that people going to stand before the judgment seat of Mashiach Yahushua and profess this before him. And he going to say, hey, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity, you that work sin. That's why it's very important to know what's right and what's wrong. So if you know what's wrong, you know not to do it. You know what's right, you're going to do what's right. You won't fall into wickedness and the evil of the things that others are doing that you say you got to fall in place with, and next thing you know, you jacked up. And they still doing their little evil, and you all jacked up. Wondering why me? Why me? I'm trying to be righteous, but then you slip and go on into that evil and that wickedness, the Most High jack your butt. Every time. He said, we love it, he chastens. So he loved you enough to call you to a Mashiach Yahushua. You're going to go and do something contrary that you know is wrong. Hey, trust me. He's not a man to lie. He's going to deal with you. Look at Luke. Go to Luke, the 12th chapter. You wonder why you feel like you feel? Because things that you do, things that you've done, could be payback. Most likely be paying you back, or paying us back. That's why I always thought, man, even in the world, I thought, whoa, man, it's like jacking me. Luke 12 and 47. Luke 12 and 47. And that servant which knew his master's will, you know what to do, and prepared not himself, you ain't prepare yourself in doing what he said do, neither did according to his will, neither did according to what he told us to do, and you have heard it and know what to do, shall be beaten with many stripes. I mean, here it is in the spirit right here. Shall be beaten with many stripes. You know, Most High called you to a Mashiach Yahushua, the highest calling in the world. It's the highest calling in the world. There's nothing more powerful than the truth. You see? I'm going to read it to you again. And that servant, we the servants, the children of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel, which knew his master's will. You know what the Most High's will is. To keep his laws, statutes, commandments. Have faith in the Mashiach Yahushua, his only begotten Son. And prepared not himself. Don't see that preparation got to come in too. You ain't preparing yourself, doing what you're supposed to do. You wonder why you're going through changes, or going to go through changes, or have been through changes. Hell, catching hell, say hell have enlarged itself around us, encamped around about us. Listen, and that servant which knew his master's will, and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, didn't want to do us right, couldn't accept instruction, shall be beaten with many stripes. Or be beaten with many stripes. But he that knew not, they didn't know, they ain't been called like you have been called, to learn it, to live it, and apply it in your life. This truth. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes, like the ones you look down upon, the one you think you so much better than, because you know you're an Israelite and they don't, shall be beaten with few stripes. Is that something? That's how